6 years before the Palisades fire, there was another fire nearby, the Woolsey fire. It burned nearly 100,000 acres and destroyed over 1,600 structures, killing 3 people. A year later, LA County produced a 200-page after-action report. The report made a number of recommendations calling for a unified command between all of the emergency services. Those recommendations were largely ignored. State and local leaders neglected fire prevention and focused on hot-button social issues instead. The California State Parks even had a secret policy of letting wildfires burn, and it would not...
Hello, everyone. This is AnnestaciA KomarovsK. Let's do it formally. We're live. This is AnnestaciA KomarovsK with the 4:44 p.m. 4th State News. So coming to you live here from the library here in Malibu. So hope you guys all got out to church today. I did yesterday at 5 o'clock. And, you know, it was a very interesting time at church because I want to give the church a plug because they deserve one. This is the church. Okay, if you scan that QR code, they can use your donation because, boy, did we have an event yesterday at the 5 o'clock service here in Malibu. Yeah, it was very windy. It was nuts windy. So it was, yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, it was yesterday. So, just a quick thing. Say Rabbit. Somebody said it should be an organization. It's an LLC. No, Mike. There you go. So that was at Malibu. So yesterday I was there at the 5 o'clock service. And I have witnesses. 4th State doesn't lie. Okay? We're not the fake news. We're the real news. Because we answer to a higher power. We couldn't go live. It wasn't true. The doors blew wide open in the middle of the service. Padre had to stop, and the wind was blowing. Many witnesses were there in the church at the service. I was there too, but I couldn't have the right view because I was at the far side where the 4th Estate sits, where normally the news does. So, but yeah, that's how powerful the winds were yesterday at church here in Malibu. So let us not forget that it's 1 year ago, almost to this day, that we had a major fire with strong winds and all. It can't rhyme at all. But yeah, with strong winds and all. So it was a reminder. This time it was green and the fire danger was low. So, where do we start? I think the church was kind of important because that did occur. The other thing too is reminded, there was an incident across the street just now. And if you don't have this app, you should. And that's just called Pulse Point. And we get to, you can see the calls that happen. But this is what the government wants you to know. The thing is, the only way to be really true is to have a radio and stuff and do it on your own. Yeah, that's... See, that's the helicopters talking. You can hear the traffic on 123.025 on your scanner. So if you had a scanner, you could do that. So I don't want to get overly distracted. It was a beautiful day out here. Look, 3 coyotes hanging out in the backyard. In the daylight, coyotes. You know, let's remember, they were here first. So 3 coyotes along with the... Gee whiz. Yeah, that traffic with the helicopter and stuff. But yeah, the parrots were all the chatter today. They were driving me a little bit... Well, it was nice. They were saying, hello, Ann, how you doing? So I was gonna, you know what, we're going to talk about the parrots. We should talk about the parrots. Here. Hello, Topanga. Parrots. There you go. Here is another community that has also suffered from fires and stuff because they have communication issues. And so it doesn't matter if you have a bunch of parrots in paradise if you can't save them. And the reason I even bring this up is there's a community. We came up with a shot earlier today, and it was from Rancho La Habra in Orange County. And here is their license to prevent themselves from burning. See, this is how it's done. You prevent yourself from burning. Tahunga, La Habra Heights, Corona, Palos Verdes, all these places license to do this. Prevent fire. Okay. This is why it's important. I have engaged Councilwoman Haaland here in Malibu. I also engaged Doug Stewart. Doug Stewart seems to say he knows all about radios, but he doesn't know enough to pay attention when I show him a radio to his face and say, here's the system. He hasn't responded, and I have an email to it. If we don't learn from the past, we're destined to repeat it. That is true. This cycles around. Same thing with war and stuff, and we'll get to that too. How much of that I deal with today, I don't know. They keep saying focus on California and focus on California. But I heard we dropped to the fifth largest economy. And I'm not happy with that because I thought we were pretty good at fourth largest economy. Now we're the fifth. No, that doesn't work for Ann. Because here at the Fourth Estate News, we do everything with fours. Everything is a four for us. So, things like that. So you might wonder about my pen, and I'll take it off. And this is kind of like, speaks to what I'm doing as California's first qualified, and I mean qualified, nonpartisan. I do have a tax ID. I mean, it's not a tax ID. I have this. This is true. This is real. All you doubters out there that think I'm not a candidate, well, you guys can go somewhere else. No party, period. No politics, period. The helicopter's a scanner. This was another candidate that decided to play ball with President Trump. Yeah. Message to Mr. Kennedy, I busted my butt to get there and get you live on News Nation. I did. And then you went to go work with President Trump, which I guess means we can all work together. But one thing I don't agree is the food pyramid, turning it upside down, because that means I can't have Edelman donuts. And I like donuts. But let's look at the sugar content. It's pretty bad. I mean, nobody said I eat healthy. I'm vegetarian and vegan, but that's what it is. And those of you that know me, especially the gentleman of the house who buys me these, who's working on a car right now, I eat them 4 at a time. That's a lot of donuts. But, your brain kind of takes a lot of that. So we talked about fire communications and the importance of having good communication. Here's a community that has not burned because they have good communication. Malibu, you're losing it. Pacific Palisades. Communications went down. The government's communications failed you. And you're destined to do it again. Get involved. We have the frequencies and stuff. All I need to do is give them away. Malibu apparently just likes playing the game, spending money on stuff they don't need to. But yet, we have a community right here. Oh, they're here somewhere. Sorry. Probably have some world peace thing here. Here they are. An example. Right there. This is why you need good governance, because you have a bunch of idiots running your city and your government. You need good governance. Sorry, that's the way it works. You need to vote for it, elect it. And they say, well, Ann, why aren't you a Democrat or Republican? I go, well, why are you NPP, or which means no party preference? Because constitutionalist was not an option. Yeah, it was not an option. So I can just do regular news, this right here. I don't know if you saw this. There's a new ring feature on the cameras and stuff. On the new iOS, if you download it, they have a new feature, a ring camera. You see it around the picture there on the laptop? That's an Apple M5 chip, 14 Pro M5 chip. So in case you guys are into that stuff, you should update your iOS. You get this new feature. So, and I have other stuff to share, but we try to keep it on schedule. So what can we come up with? Because there's a lot of issues. So one thing, we did the church, we did the parrots. I did this. Somebody said, Ann, do something original. What's like original content? And I ran into this. This doomsday clock is closer than ever. It sure is. We're being distracted from what's really happening in the world. Like this. Now let's refresh this screen. I mean, just to make sure it's, this is the internet, right? Okay, 13 hours ago. Sometimes you have to go outside to get the real news. There you go. See, they have put a lot of advertising up because they have to pay for everything. Now later, they have to pay. No, don't want to subscribe. They have to pay for all this, but you get to read the. Okay, don't want that either. It's just like bombarded, but in the center is probably the story. Read full story, see what happens. Okay, there you go. I'll let you guys read the story. Okay. So that's kind of stuff you can read about. You can look for it. Things are happening out there. You're being distracted by watching the Golden Globe Awards, which is good too, or sporting events. But what's really happening? It's like we're like this. This is a very vintage bottle of rum from Cuba that I brought back in 1998. Yeah, there's still some in it. Cuba might be next to fall because the president said this goes with his morality or morals, and he gets to do whatever he wants. So I guess if he wants to take over Cuba, then I guess he wants some rum. I don't know, President Trump, there's other ways to get rum. And what's odd is this bottle, they're much the same. It's like this one's a candle now, and that was a bottle of rum. How many years ago was that? That was a long time ago, but this is all true stories. You can't make it up. Got the goods. So if it was 3 years old when I got it, yeah, how much? It's got to be really up there in age. This is a vintage bottle. I wonder if it still tastes good. Cuba is a very unique country. They fought a revolution to be their own. So I kind of feel they should be their own if they want to. So we're not the world police. And I'm governor of California, so which means, how does that impact us? But it does. So I want to go out on something nice, and I might have to tag it on. But what I can do is show you that community that's never burned. Never burned. Blessed by God. So the question is why is it that we don't have those same blessings here in Malibu, in the other area? Because could it be because we're over here having picnics and stuff? Lindsay Horvath was here in town yesterday, and she had a picnic at Pepperdine University. She should have been probably going to church or a service or so. But thou shalt not judge. Just do good. So the good that needs to be done is protection of life and or property by whatever means. Putting a repeater on Catalina Island, such as this system here, KISS 88.7, this came up on the computer. I'll have to do some more research, but KISL 88.7 on Avalon. A big transmitter I got to tune it in and see what it's got on it. The point of the matter is, protection of life and or property should be your number one criteria in a candidate. Not some Bianco guy who wants to shoot a bear, okay? And it's like unite forces with the city of LA to whatever to go up against Rick Caruso. If Rick Caruso wants to be mayor, so be it. He's got the skills. We should be so blessed to have him as mayor of Los Angeles. So I'll let you be, and I'll go out on that one shot, which is Rancho La Habra, a community that's never burned. Thank you, everyone. See you tomorrow.